glass half full, the revival.
Oh, y'all know what this is. Peace and blessings. It is your boy, Eli Rax, a.k.a. Vibes, and welcome to New York Revival, where it's not just sports, it's entertainment. And I'm here with my brothers, man. You guys know who they are. And that's Mr. Glass Half Full, and that's Speed, if you nasty, man.
Always checking the eyebrows, this guy. Always checking the
He's
eyebrows.
waiting for him to do the whole eyebrow thing. I don't know. I gotta wait for that. I'm gonna wait for
they always look the same to me. Maybe it's because he grooms them all day.
You gotta keep them groomed, bro, because they can get out of control.
I see, but really, this is bushy, huh?
Hairy guy like me.
We'll talk that another time. We'll talk about it another time. And I'm here with my brother El Jefe, aka White Jersey, aka Blue Jersey, aka Damn It Daniel. And shout out to you. Yes, you, the revivalists in the chat. Please hit that thumbs up, share, and subscribe. We do appreciate all the support, guys. This is a pre-recorded show. We usually kind of do everything live for you guys. This way you can chime on in, but it's a last-minute thing. We were a gift, man. A door closed and another one open, so we got a special guest. We didn't even announce this just yet, and we're going to bring him right in. If you guys don't know who he is, you've been living under a rock. You might have been on your couch, because this guy is straight off the couch, man. My guy, your guy, Justin Pugh. Round of applause! Round of applause! Round of applause! Round of applause! Thank you so much, brother. Thank you for being here. How's everything, brother? And thank you. This was like last minute, so I appreciate you, man. How's everything, brother?
No, I was driving in the car going to get a haircut, and I got this tweet. I got a couple tweets. My boy Bill Hartnett, who's always, he's probably one of the most committed Giants fans out there.
Yes.
I'm surprised he doesn't have his own show by now. He's like, hey, you guys got to get my boy Justin Pugh on. So I saw it, and Eli, I messaged you right away. I'm like, yo, I've been meaning to get on the show. Let's do it tonight, and we made it happen.
Good man. What a good guy.
We respect the shit out of that.
If you don't know our guy, Bill, what we do every month, we have Revivalists of the Month. It's the people that support us the most, that watch us the most. And he's actually the Revivalist of the Month. So he's coming in here and doing his thing. Bill,
it worked out.
Wow.
The stars aligned.
Talk about earning your stripes. Bill Hartnett bringing in guests.
Yo, Bill is standing on business. Not only did he talk he backed it up.
He dang sure did, man. Listen, we had something called the People's Mock Draft, and we wanted to do something special for the people. We like to give what they give us. We like to give it back. So we were like, hey, if you get some of this stuff right, we're going to win some money, and the highest bidder becomes Revivalist of the Month. And he was like, 100 burger. Bam, right there. And I was like, oh!
Just laid it on
us, man. And this guy supported us a lot. So, Bill, Revivalist of the Month, we appreciate you, brother. Justin, I gotta say this. I gotta say this, man. I gotta break the ice just a tad bit here.
Let's just break that ice right into it.
He asked everybody this question that kind of does the show here. Here it is. Here it is. If OnlyFans offered you
a
$100 million contract, you don't know what it is.
A lot of zeros.
A lot of zeros for 5 minutes of your time.
Just 5.
You have to sign. Then you'll get the money. Then they tell you, oh, by the way, it's this. But you got to sign first. Would you do it, brother? Would you do it?
Tax-free.
Tax-free. 100 million.
Oh, yeah.
Right on you.
Brinks truck. Backing up. Brinks.
Well, this is a tough one.
All right, hold on. I'm going to give you guys another one that floats around the locker room at all times.
Let's go.
There's another one very similar to this. Isn't OnlyFans, but it was for like a crazy amount of money. Let's just do, let's do 200 million. Right. Halftime at the Super Bowl. You're the halftime show. Partner with OnlyFans. You don't know what you got to do at halftime of the Super Bowl. You doing it at halftime. The whole world's watching. 300 million people are watching from America or all over the world. Yeah. Are you doing it?
Man, that's like our offer on steroids, because that's automatically
really
broadcasted. Not like, oh, they might find it. This is like they're gonna see it.
Yeah.
You know what?
I'm telling you,
I'm still doing it.
Exactly.
Yes,
I'm doing it. Sign me up.
Tax free. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. You wouldn't be able to find me. You wouldn't be able to find me. I'll vanish after I get that money. And no matter how I act, I do perform, I am gone off the radar. And I'm taking that money and have a time of my life.
And Justin, I know you're a smart money guy. You could tax it. I would still do it. We're talking about.
I gotta be tax free. I gotta be tax free.
Yeah, but you're a wealthy guy. I didn't play in the NFL, so you could tax it. I'm still taking half.
Fair enough. Justin Pugh, you grew up in Holland, PA, man. So I'm gonna ask this question. I'm gonna guess you were a Philly fan. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but on draft night. What was it like getting that phone call from the New York Giants, especially being from PA? I know you was like, hold up, I'm a fan here. So tell me about that transition there to the New York Giants, and how'd you feel that night?
It was crazy. I didn't know where I was going to get drafted. The Eagles had the 4th overall pick, so I knew I wasn't going to Philly. Right. And I honestly thought it was going to be Dallas or Chicago. Dallas had 18, Chicago had 20, and I knew Chicago worked out like the last workout before you could. So I knew 20 was where I was probably going to go. I knew I wasn't making it past 20. O-linemen start flying off the board. You have 1st overall, 2nd overall, 4th overall. Everyone's coming off. So I get that call from the 201 number, and I went to Syracuse, so a lot of my boys are from North Jersey, Giants fans. We have back and forth throughout the year, so I knew when that call came in, I knew it was go time, and it was Tom Coughlin. I said, "Hey, I'm throwing out all my Eagles gear. It's Syracuse Giants," and I didn't know at that time because all my boys were like, "Dude, can I curse on here?"
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, let it rip.
I figured we were talking about OnlyFans. I was like, the whole night. My boys were like, my boys were all like, the fucking New York Giants. Like they couldn't get it through their head. And as soon as so the next day, Syracuse is playing Notre Dame and lacrosse at MetLife. I go to the game. The fans are going crazy. When you're when you're the 1st round pick, for most teams, it's pretty hype. But when you're the 1st round pick for the New York Giants, there's nothing like it in the world. Like I guess
different.
I guess I can't compare it, but when your face is on the New York Post, the New York Times that next day, and it says Justin Pugh first round pick, and you're the only one all the Giants fans are talking about for that one day, I get goosebumps talking about it because it's the reason I came back last year. Like it changed my life. So the New York Giants, they have this slogan that once a Giant, always a Giant. A lot of teams say, I truly live it. Like I truly believe that. So when I go back to the East Coast, I go to New York first. I don't go to Philly first. I always stop in New York. Like if I can choose between flying into Philly International or Newark, I'm flying into Newark or JFK. So I got to go see my mom in Philly and say, hey, Mom, I'm going to fly into Newark and then I'll drive down.
That's dope. I like it. I like that about you.
Wow, yeah. Hef, I know you got something, brother. What you got?
Well, I just wanted to thank Justin for being a good sport. I'm the guy that made that Heal the World video when you were trying to like make the Giants fan base and Giants Twitter a better place, right? Because there's so much toxic shit on there.
Hey, we're still doing that, by the way. I'm figuring out ways.
But listen, we like to be on the good vibes side of stuff, right? Even if we disagree with people, we're respectful. We don't take the low shots and everything like that. So if you need to team up with anybody to help get the message across, we're happy to help.
Well, what I'm thinking about doing this depends on like whether I play or not this year. Is like if I'm not playing, which I don't see a world in which I'm not playing for the Giants this year. But like that's a whole we'll get there.
Yes.
Like doing some type of like tailgate where we're like giving out food, drinking, having a good time before one of the games. Like if I can't be in the stadium playing, I might as well be with the most important people, the fans. And that's something that coming back this year, I've dived into, and it's part of what I think every Giant should do. New York Giants players are scared of the fans, man. We are scared of the fans. But if you lean in and like truly like, yo, let's do this together.
Right.
This shit is like this year I played shitty games and the fans still have my back. It was like, yo, he's a real one. Like he's at least telling us what happened. And that's what I encourage anyone to do if you're in this market. Just get with the fans ASAP. Not only fans ways, but like, you know.
And you know what's, Pugh, I just want to ask this, Justin. You're absolutely right. You know, when you came back and you know, the season didn't turn out the way it did for what we hoped, especially coming off that playoff run, you did keep it real and etc. And do you feel like that kind of galvanized you a little bit more with the fans as far as you going to a parking lot, as far as you going to tailgates and doing that? Do you feel like you galvanized more in the community, or you feel like they have you with open arms a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it was like, I'm a Giants fan. So like when I was watching the games, like I signed up when the Giants were 1-5 or 1-6 at the time. Like I knew a guy that the last season I played here, we were 2-13, and then we drafted Saquon, or 3-13, whatever we were that year. I knew the situation I was getting myself into. Like I wasn't like I was coming to a playoff contender team that was getting ready to make this crazy run. Like I was coming in to truly try to make a change. I wasn't coming back to retire as a Giant, like signing a one-day contract saying, hey, like, let's do a little, I don't deserve that, A. B, I was like, I'm going to go into the mud and I'm going to go try to help the organization that I love. And so when I came back to it, it was like, hey, you got to handle the media. If you don't stand up in front of the media, you're going to get ripped to shreds. I didn't think I'd be playing right away. I kind of got thrown into the fire there.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I knew I was going to do is keep it real with the fans. And I think that definitely has helped me my cause, because they're like, damn, this dude is really just trying to, like, I proved what I said. I said it and then I did it.
Yeah. Justin, correct me if I'm wrong, if I have the right game in mind. I'm not sure if it was your first game back, but you started at left guard, and I think there was an injury like on the first drive, and you had to immediately go to left tackle. And I'm like, this poor guy, like,
Zudu got hurt.
Let me explain this. This is how I can explain it, like movie terms. You guys ever see the movie 300?
Yes.
So they send a little boy out there with just like a spear and like no jacket. It's freezing cold, and they're like, "Yo, if you kill this wolf that no one can kill, that you could come back and you could be part of the 300." That's what Joe Shane did to me. He was like, "Yo, here's your," but Joe didn't even give me a spear. Joe just said, "Yo, you don't know the playbook, you don't know the snap count. We have a new center in there. We have a new quarterback in there. Like, just go block Von Miller and Leonard Floyd and all these dudes."
Impossible situation. Pretty much.
So, like the first 2 snaps, I didn't even get out of my stance. The cadence when you're on silent count, it's all predicated off the center's bob. So when the center brings his head up, he snaps the ball. And on every team I've ever played on, the snap like comes as soon as the head comes up. The center was kind of pausing a little bit. It was Ben Bredesen, who's an amazing player, but like he had been playing left guard the week before.
Right.
So his cadence was a tick slower than what I was used to. So me and him finally got it figured out after 2 penalties, 2 sacks, where I couldn't even get out of my stance. And I was like, all right, man, we settled in. We should have won the damn game. The refs took that one from us. But
I agree.
Hey,
here nor there.
Listen.
That's true.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm about to say, speak. Go right ahead, man. Yeah,
That's what, like, I wanted to ask that. Like, there's the mental aspect of like just literally coming off the couch like you did, but there's also, you know, the footwork. Like, I don't know what you're most used to, but like, what's the harder part? The mental aspect, like the getting the plays down and the technique down, or is it like your footwork? What comes back first, and what's the hardest thing to get?
The playbook with the Giants was the hardest to get. Dayball is it's a very intricate system in which he implements. And it's amazing because once you get it and you're in it, it's set in stone. It's a lot of one-worders. It's getting up on the ball. It's going quick, but I didn't know all of them. So Josh Zudu, who was playing left tackle, was basically, he was basically translating it for me. So like he was taking it from Spanish, putting it into English for me. He was like, "Hey, this is run to the left here." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right, run to the left." You guys have to realize too, I didn't put full pads on for an entire calendar year. I tore and I'm coming off an ACL tear. So I tore my ACL week 6 the year before, and now we're in week 7 the following year. I didn't do training camp. I didn't do OTAs. I did one Fast Friday practice where like we're not even going full speed and we're not in pads. Right. So I didn't hit somebody until pregame. And then I get in the huddle, and Tyrod calls a play I've never even heard of in the pregame huddle.
This is like a nightmare. This is like stuff that happens in dreams, not in real
life. When you're in pregame huddle, you typically call like day 1 base install stuff. So like inside zone left, inside zone right, which is just like quick run schemes. Well, we didn't have inside zone in that week in that vernacular. So he calls this play, and I'm like, I don't know this play. I start freaking out. And it was like,
you don't want to get someone killed, right?
Dude, so literally just like figuring out how to get lined up and where to go. That was my biggest fear that night. And then it's Sunday Night Football. You're playing the Buffalo Bills. Like, add that into this little equation.
Yeah, the whole country is watching.
Yo, I will tell you this: there isn't a worse position for a player to be in than the position that I was in. I can't draw one up any worse than the situation I was in.
They should have snuck like an extra speaker in your helmet so they could be like, okay, Justin, on this play.
So with that being said, you know, I just want to ask Justin, because everybody's, you know, you're a free agent at this point, but do you feel like you have enough tread on the tires? If Giants call you today, does Justin Pugh have the tread to compete in this NFL right now as we speak?
Oh, 100%. I mean, if I didn't, they would have started someone else over me last year. You know what I mean? At some point, guys came back, guys were healthy. They would have started somebody over me. Now, the one thing that I will tell you, and this is what I do best, and this is what today's NFL makes it able for me to play. I'm not this road grader. That's why me and Gettleman never got along. I'm not this 330-pound. Yeah, he wanted hog mollies, and all that power to him for it. Like he wanted to build his team. He went out on his sword. You know what I mean? Like at least he went down swinging how he wanted to go out.
He didn't find hog mollies either. For the
for the record, right? For the record.
But I will say, first off, I'll fight for my guy Will Hernandez, who I play with in Arizona. Will Hernandez can play football, man. Will Hernandez is a baller. So it was just like I think it was more of like this is part of the reason why I want to make Giants Nation like a little more happier, a little more like supportive. It's hard to play in New York. So I'll say that. Damn, what was I saying before? What were we talking? What was the question?
Oh, no, don't worry. Just saying that if you have tread left on the tires, if the Giants was to call today on any team.
Oh, yes. Someone would have started over you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry. I had to go support my guy, Will Hernandez. Shout out to you, Will. I love you,
worry.
Will.
Don't worry. Shout out, Will.
But it's a passing league. Like if I'm grading young offensive linemen right now, I'm watching, like I'm waiting at 70% for pass protection, 30% for run blocking.
Right.
Like, so when I look at the draft this year, that's why Joe Alt was by far the best offensive lineman out there because he's the best pass protector. JC Latham from Bama, you got to turn on his film. Like, he's going to have to figure out how to pass protect in the league.
Right.
He's a run blocker. That's why I thought he was actually a better fit for the Chargers. I don't think Joe Alt's actually the best fit for the Chargers. So for me, what do I do best? I pass protect. I can pass off games, and there's continuity. You got to play with guys for a while and be able to do it, but I can pass protect. I can pick up games on third down for the most part. Like the Saints game, we didn't pick up any fucking games, and that's why
that was bad.
That was bad. I mean, but like they found something that worked and they kept running it, and we didn't pick it up. So hats off to them. I'm sitting here talking on podcasts instead of playing football. Maybe that's why. There's a reason why teams are going to still call me, and there's some things I do off the field. So maybe it's a role where I'm not the starter, and if I had to come in and play games, I can give you a game or two, and I can give you at least 12. I did it last year, but it's be that veteran in the room, and there's options on the board. I gotta look at all the options. I'm not going anywhere but New York, but it's either like, hey, am I going to retire and start doing broadcaster? I'm training every day. Do I want to go play one more year? And that's, as much as up to them as anyone. Like Joe's got to give me a call. He knows he's got my number.
And let me say this too. I'm sorry, Speed. Let me just ask one more thing. I apologize. But even when you came straight off the couch, right? Like you can see that the offensive line was kind of a little bit in shambles, right? But when you get there, you can kind of see it stabilize as to that. So my question is, do you see when it's all said and done, when you do decide to walk away from the game, do you see yourself as a coach in this league? Because those guys, like when you came in there, the locker room seemed a little bit better. The offensive line had a little more continuity to it. It seemed like you needed that veteran, and it seemed like you bought it to him. So just want to know if there is coaching in the near future when you do decide to say, you know what, it was a good career. I want to hang this up.
Never coaching. Like coaching to be a coach. Yeah. Bro, if you're the best coach, you're moving every 2 or 3 years. You know what I mean? Like you're always working your way up, and then as soon as you get there, you're there. Maybe you get 4 years at the peak of your career, and then it's right back down the ladder, and you're moving every year after that. Like that is not for me. If anything, I'd rather be on the GM side, kind of helping put teams together. One thing I do know is that I'm going to make sure we're having fun. And that's the one thing that's non-negotiable to me. I got in the practice squad huddle on Thursday. The first Thursday I'm there. I'm on practice squad still. They didn't call me up to the active roster. That was the next day. And I get in the huddle, and it's me and Tommy DeVito, and he's a Syracuse guy, and I'm a Syracuse guy. I said, hey, the one thing about this practice squad huddle you guys got to understand right now, I've been doing this for 11 years. I've started over 120 games in the NFL. We're about to go fuck up the D-line. We're about to go fuck up Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence. Like, we're about to go get after them.
Let's go.
We're going to have fun while we're doing it. Like, so I always have taken the mentality that no matter what situation I'm in, we're going to have fun doing it. So I'm like, yo, the huddle starts with a fucking great break. If we don't break this huddle, I'm calling the practice squad huddle back in, and we're going to re-break this shit.
Run it again.
Every Friday, we're doing bagels at the facility. Shout out to O-Bagel in Hoboken. Like, we got bagels. We're doing O-line dinners every Thursday, non-negotiable.
Nice.
When we get to a away game, we're getting coffee together. I want to know your dog's name. I want to know why you like Shirley Temples. Like, I got to know all this shit because when it comes to picking up a game on third down, that little extra is what's going to get us there. The 3-point swing in a game is all about if you love the guy you're playing with more than the next guy. And you don't need a scientist to figure that out. I gave the Giants the blueprint. They have it. They know what it takes to be a guy's guy, love your boys, and go win some games, or at least go make them close if you don't have the talent.
Yeah. Oh, that's to spin off of what
got
Eli
chills,
said.
man. I got chills. I'm sorry, but go ahead.
That's
fine.
what I kind of was going to ask about, because I think the number one thing that stuck out for me when you came here is I forget who it was. You stuck up for them in the locker room. I forget.
Evan
Someone's
Neal.
getting called out. It might have been Evan Neal, right?
I think it was Evan Neal. Yeah.
Evan Neal's getting roasted. You stuck up for him. And I'm like, man, that's something that's been missing on the offensive line. That leadership, and there's just a bunch of young guys on the line. Especially when Andrew Thomas went out. So you doing those dinners and doing those things in the practice squad, I think brings together a team. And and then you can speak on this. How much is cohesion? Is that the number one attribute for what makes a good offensive line, or like knowing the person next to you, or is it just like five talented guys across the board? Like, what would you put higher?
So the thing about offensive line, it's not about how good your best player is, it's how bad your worst player is.
Yeah.
So that's where I look at it, where you need to have 8 guys. You need to have 8 guys that can play football at this level, because there's going to be injuries. You got a 100% chance of getting injured in this. But if you don't love the whole room and you don't have that next guy step in and feel like he's a part of the room, there's some anomalies out there. Like Philadelphia has an unbelievable offensive line. They're not the closest offensive line. I mean, Stoutland's he's unbelievable as well. But you look at Dallas's offensive line. I don't think that those guys were the closest group.
Right.
When we were in Arizona, it was probably the closest group of O-linemen I've ever been around. I had, DJ Humphreys, me, Kelvin Beachum, Rodney Hudson, A.Q. Shipley was here, but we just loved each other. I just went to A.Q. Shipley's daughter's 6th birthday party the other day, because that's what makes great offensive lines. And it's tough. It's tough in New York because geographically it's hard to have these kind of events, because some guys are in Jersey, some guys are in Hoboken, some guys are, in South more. So it is a little bit tougher because of the geography. But if you make it a point, that's why the Giants won with all the great offensive linemen they had from the 2004 to 11.
Mm-hmm.
Those dudes weren't first round picks, but they loved each other. I'll guarantee you that. I know that for a fact.
Yeah,
they stayed together for a while, a lot of years on top of years, and then you would add a piece here and there, but the core, there was a core there, and there was something to build on. I think I forget which year they were showing a stat, but it was 25 consecutive games that the same 5 guys started. Mm-hmm. That's almost unimaginable now, maybe in general, but specifically as a Giants fan, with how the O-line, we've just been decimated. And
the one thing I'll say about that too is look, I love Jerry Reese when he was there. And, Gettleman, I didn't get to know as much, but Gettleman should have kept me, should have kept Weston. I mean, dude, even Eric Flowers got paid elsewhere. That whole offensive line got paid. We just didn't look the part. We weren't massive human beings, but me and Weston would have played next to each other for 10 straight years. We would have had it. And Bobby Hart got paid. All those guys in that O-line got paid. It was just not the right time for the personalities in New York City. Flowers had to leave New York because he couldn't become the player that he became until he left and kind of got his confidence back, because his confidence got shot.
Can I ask you about that? So we us New York Giants fans are we kind of have a little nightmare going on right now, because we have our top 10 tackle that and Evan Neal, I think is 10 times better of a personality, and I know you might know Eric better, but it just seems like he's more coachable. So, but we're worried about our boy Evan Neal. Can you speak on Evan Neal and his development, where he is at mentally? What do you think about this year for him going into 2024 pivotal year?
Yeah, you got to think about the pressure that he puts on himself. He was the best player in high school, maybe one of the best tackles ever rated by the rival system. I mean, he went to IMG Academy where it's top notch. Then he goes to Alabama. He's the best player in college football. And then you get to the NFL and it's hey, there's a little more adversity here in the NFL. And I faced it. I struggled as a rookie too. And it's overcoming that. And then next year, having some injuries pop in, maybe you still aren't playing as well as you thought you would. So this year is everything for Evan. I mean, he's got to go out there and he's got to produce. And if he's not producing that right tackle, you got to look at left guard. You got to look at those 2 options because Jermaine Illuminor has played right tackle at a high level in this league too. So you have that security. It's not honestly me coming off the couch. We got a guy that's played at a high level. I love what Joe Shane did with the offensive line, but Evan deserves that shot to go out there and do it. But just like me moving to left guard, you can make a lot of money in this league playing left guard at a high level. So I would never be against that. So for Evan, it's he's got to go out there and produce. That's the name of the game. I don't feel bad for anybody. I don't feel Daniel Jones got to go out there and produce this year. He knows that. This is a what have you done for me lately league. And if I can get cut and traded and pushed out of town. I don't feel bad for anybody. Everybody's going to have their day at some point. So he's going to have 3 years to figure out if he can be the starting right tackle. And if not, you got to make it the next decision because you can't do that to the organization or the player.
Right.
I totally agree. And let me ask you this, because unfortunately the Giants let go of their offensive line coach, Bobby Johnson, and he seemed like he took a lot of the brunt of the blame on how that offensive line played as a unit. But I just want to ask you this. How important is an offensive line coach in the development of a player such as an Evan Neal at this point, or in yourself as far as going into the league?
It plays a pivotal role, and Bobby's a great guy, and he's a great coach, which shows you he got a job. There's only 32 offensive line coaching jobs. He got a job, but at some point, it's the job can't be done here. Like, look at Andy Reid in Philadelphia. He didn't win a Super Bowl, and eventually he went to Kansas City, found his success. Doesn't mean he was a bad coach,
right?
But with Bobby, it was just like, hey, he was kind of taking a lot of spears for the offensive line. He was taking them for me personally, and I respect the hell out of Bobby for how he stood up for the O-line. But it was time for him to move on because you can only take that for so long. You become the punching bag for the fan base. And there's so many things that play a factor in it. Bobby only gets us for a few hours in season a day. We leave and we go out on our own, and we go to our own trainers, and we go to our own, O-line gurus, and everyone has their own way of doing things in the off season. With today's NFL, that's almost more important than the offensive line coach because it really instills whatever your core beliefs in on how to play offensive line. I've worked with LaCharles Bentley and I've worked with CJ Davis at O-line Performance, and they really talk about how they want to do things, and I internalize it, and that's how I believe offensive line should be played, and that's what I'm taking into camp with me when I go. So to put everything on one person, now Bobby can say, hey, that technique's not working. And if you keep losing reps, we got to change it. But at the end of the day, it's on the player to figure out what tool from that toolbox I want to pull from. Do I want to pull Bobby Johnson's jump set? Do I want to pull LaCharles Bentley's vertical set and kind of put them all together? And that's what makes a great pro.
Gotcha. That's good insight right there.
Guys, on that note, I just want to, Justin, so nice to meet you. I have to get back to the family.
Peace out.
Right up. But really nice to meet you. Thank you so much for doing this on short notice. Very cool guy. Very nice of you to see our message out there and then jump on. So thank you, man.
Appreciate you, man.
This is exactly what I've been trying to do, El Jefe, trying to make this place a little bit brighter for all.
Well, it's working already, brother. Keep it up.
I appreciate it, man.
So while we're talking about that, so let's talk about your podcast real quick, Justin. Networth, tell us about it, and tell us what your goal is for Networth and what you're doing out there.
Yeah, so I started this company during the season, basically because of the success I saw, interacting with the fan base, going in and meeting some of the Giants fans. I was like, damn, I kind of want to do media full time. I kind of want to help guys build what I was building because I feel like I figured out a playbook to really help fans and players connect, and the content creation is taking off. I mean, it's happening all over the NFL. So I started doing my own podcast because win, lose, or draw, I was talking about the game. There were some games I didn't want to face the music. I don't want to talk to the fans, but I know what it's like waking up after a Sunday loss. And I know even more so, I felt like I just got in a car crash. So I wanted to have a voice to be able to communicate with the fans. And at first it was just about business of football, but then it was, I want to talk about how the monies and how they kind of flow through this ecosystem and how it really dictates a lot of the moves. And I'd be happy to hop into why the Cleveland Browns and Philadelphia Eagles spend more money than everyone else. And we can go into that. But for me, it was follow the money. It's going to tell you the story. And I started doing that and talking about it. And now not only am I doing my own podcast, I'm helping other guys create their own podcast because podcasting is the gateway to the fan base, and the fan base makes everything go. And if you don't have a pulse on what the fan base is doing or talking about or feeling, you're fucking up. And that's what I did my first 5 years. I was so scared of I love the fan base. I would try to do little things, but really engaging with the fan base and trying to block out the negativity, but the real diehards, because we're all in this together. All we want to do is go to the playoffs and win games. All of us.
Damn right.
Joe Shane, Mr. John Mayer, all the way down to me now sitting on my couch. We all want the same exact thing. So let's figure out how to do it together.
Thanks.
I totally agree. Thank you for that, Justin. We're going to have a little fun here. We felt like you answered a lot of tough questions here today, especially
enough about football.
Especially that OnlyFans one. So we're going to have a little fun here. We're going to call this game Straight Off the Couch. We're going to give you a couple of ideas or a couple of names here. And you tell me, would you get off the couch for them or would you stay on the couch? So I'm going to throw a couple things out here. Simple answer. I'll get off the couch for them, or I'm staying on the couch. They're not worth my time. So here's the thing. All right. So the first one is the New York Giants. What is it? Straight off the couch or on the couch?
Yeah.
Off the couch, baby. Straight off the couch.
Straight
off the couch. All right.
I like this, man. All right. So we got another one here. We're just getting warmed up. The Philadelphia Eagles.
They offered me a deal last year, and I told them, I said, "Hey, I can't come down there. I can't come back to Philly. As much as my family, as much as my family would love me to, I realized, like, look, I've been on the reverse end of this. Like, and don't get me wrong, guys. I love Philly. I love where I'm from, but I know the fan bases. Like, Philly fans are as diehard as Giants fans, and Saquon's finding this out the hard way now.
I was just about to ask you.
I found out the other way where, like, I was playing for New York and I would go home and, like, they're doing Eagles chants while I'm trying to have dinner with my mother. You know what I mean? Like, so I know how crazy it is. So, like, because I want to be associated with the New York Giants for the rest of my life and career, I couldn't do it.
Let's go. That's
I respect the shit out of that. Respect the shit out of it, Justin. Let's go.
I really do. Peter Lugers.
Ooh, I'm off the couch. I'm off the couch. I'm
Let's
across
go.
the bridge.
Let's go. Let's go. That's what we wanted to hear. We got to get the air horns on that one. All right, man.
I've only been once, though. I've only been once.
That's
so
fine.
That's why I'm off the couch. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Okay, so you had the
I was living in Jersey, so it was hard to get all the way across to go over there.
That's fair. That's fair.
Listen, we got to figure this out here, Justin. We got to get you.
Yes. You hear that?
All right, so here's the next one. New York Revival.
I'm back. Anytime you guys need me, I'm here.
Let's go. Got the air horns ready to go. That's why I like, man. Here's a tricky one. I think that you'll be on or off the couch for, but it's a little late night thing. So here it goes. White Castle.
Oh, I'm a Five Guys guy. I'm a five guy, so I'm staying seated.
I respect it. Gino's Philly cheesesteak. Oh, Gio's. I'm sorry, Gio's Philly cheesesteak.
Gino's. No, he got it. Or Gino's or Pat's. Whatever's your go-to. Or Del Santo's. You tell us.
I'm sitting for both. Gino's and Pat's. I'm sitting. Angelo's cheesesteak.
There it is.
Angelo's South Philly. I'm telling you guys this right now. And New Yorkers may get mad at me, but Angelo's pizza and cheesesteak is the best food. If I'm dying, I'm getting Angelo's cheesesteak and pizza.
Let's go. Now, I'm going to tell you this, man.
This is the kind of information we need.
We need this here from Justin Pugh. We just want to say congratulations first with this question.
Yes.
Diaper duty.
I'm off the couch.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
Dad.
Let's go.
All right, Dad. All right, Dad.
You know, I know sometimes with daughters, guys are a little like, oh, I'm not changing. I'm all in on dad duty, man. That's my daughter. I look at her. It's mini me. I change the
Yes.
All right, go, let me give you some advice. I have a 16-year-old about to be 17. My little girl still, but when they get older, man, they have nothing to do with you. So hold her as long as you can. As long as you can. It goes quick. I'm telling you. And let me say this, man. I know you're a golf guy. So Augusta, did I say that right, Speed? Because I know you have
you getting off the couch for a round at Augusta. I feel like we didn't even have to ask this. Like this
it's a no-brainer. I'm off the couch.
Let's go. We got to get the air horns on that one. There it is. There it is. And that, of course, is the game. Straight off the couch with Justin Pugh. Justin, I want to ask you a couple more things, brother, if you don't mind. Now, this past week, rap has been on fire. Hip-hop, man. I'm not sure what you listen to, but with all of that being said, what is your go-to music and who is your favorite artist right now as we speak?
All right, so first, let's talk about the beef.
Yes.
I mean, okay, Justin. I like this now. Let me turn on my headphones here.
Now, I might catch some slack for this, but like,
let's go.
I watched something yesterday why people kind of don't like Drake. He's a little bit corny. He's had some issues in the past, like with The Weeknd. He made it take some of his songs, but he's the most famous dude on planet Earth. He's made the most money. I follow the dollars. So for me, it's like, and I'm an East Coast guy too. Maybe I went to Syracuse, so maybe it's a little bit close to Canada, but I think Drake is winning. Like, did he not plant some like fake daughter story? Like, wasn't that all that like planted and
baited?
Well, I'll tell you this. If that was planted and baited, then yeah, absolutely, right? You just got to go, man, like he really fell for the trap. But I'll say this though. The way Kendrick put it into words, I think it was masterpiece.
It's been fun. It's been fun. Reinvigorating the rap game.
But this is what I love about it. It's like, for me, it's like, all right, let me follow the money. Like, Drake's got the money. But
oh yeah,
when it comes to like actual like skill, obviously like Drake's had the ghostwriting drama in his career. Like, is he even writing these songs? But it depends. Like, what are we in this for? Are we in this for entertainment or like like you really got to be a rap fan and be like, all right, I don't really care about the entertainment, like going to the bar or the club and like kind of. You know, you kind of doing one of these when a Drake song comes on.
Yeah.
How many nights have you spent doing one of these to a Drake song?
Yeah,
a lot. I love Drake, man. Shout out to I'm a huge Drake fan and Kendrick, obviously. But listen, man, you know who really won this rap beef? The fans, man. The content was just so unbelievable.
Rap is back.
Shout out to those guys, man. Sure.
We love it.
Okay, so the fact that you know a little bit of hip hop, man. Who is give me your top three rap artists of all time?
So East Coast guy, I'm a Biggie guy through and through.
Yes.
Let's go, Justin. Okay.
Shout out.
I know I'm in Phoenix right now, but I'm a Biggie guy through and through.
Let's go.
I'm also a Philly guy, and I know he's not great press lately, but I was always a Meek guy. I play Meek pregame. Like
okay.
Like,
shout out Meek.
Respect. We respect a good rapper.
I like Meek.
Yeah, man. And then when I was in college, Lil Wayne, like you know, when you heard that. You know what I mean? Like that. Those are
lighter flick.
Yeah, man. When you heard that lighter flick, you knew like, dude, No Ceilings. When I was in college, 2009, 10. Like, come on. Like, that was so.
Okay, Justin. I did not know you. Okay, Justin. We gotta talk one day. Behind the scenes about this rap stuff. I did not know you was well versed. I wasn't familiar with your game, my friend.
Now you know.
I will say this: Lil Wayne was all because of my roommate, who was a North Jersey guy. He was the biggest Wayne fan. So you know we had Lupe Fiasco in there, we had Kid Cudi in there. Like, come on, we had a little bit of everything. I'm not the biggest Kendrick fan, to be honest with you. Now he's amazing, but his style just doesn't resonate with me. Like he's more of like I am a little bit more corny. Like I'm a little more of a today's hit. Like if I was like on the spectrum, I'm more of like a today's hits guy than like I found this artist. No one knows about him.
Yeah. Right. I got you.
I respect that because I wasn't familiar with Kendrick either. Like I was just a Drake guy, you know what I mean? But he swayed me just a little.
Well, hold on now. Don't forget. I know you were doing this at some point.
Oh, of course, hands down. Of course, you gotta go with the Trizzy, baby. You gotta do that. Of course. Drake was killing him, by the way. I just want to let you know he was. But you know, it's good. It's all in fun. But I say this, man. Spee, I know you got another question for him, man.
Justin, one last question here. So you're pretty New York through and through. You've gone out, you've seen some people. Most famous person you've met in the wild, and who is the most famous person you befriended as a New York, New Jersey resident now? Because you're in the middle of the Mecca here.
So I gotta go like non-football players. So like
non-football.
Like Eli,
yes,
everyone knows Eli. Everyone knows Odell. So those are like Those are cheats.
Right.
I became real friendly with Peter Berg, the director. He's a big Giants fan.
Yes.
And Pete invited me down to a movie in Colombia. He was filming it in Bogota, Colombia, and Mark Wahlberg was starring in it. Yeah. And I got to meet Mark. I got to go on set. I got to go to the thing. And Pete took us to dinner at the White House. I ate with the president of Colombia. Wow. Pete took us to the White House of Colombia. So that was like the most famous. Like, wow. I just have no business being here. Moment for me. So I have to say that anytime I would go to like a Knicks or Rangers game, like everyone you run into there, you're starstruck by. So I mean, we all know who's all there, and the list goes on and on. But the most quintessential New York moment I had was last offseason. My wife and I and our two friends go to dinner at this place called Teresi. It's this little swanky Italian spot downtown. And I'm sitting there, we're having dinner, I'm having a couple glasses of wine, and I hear this voice, and it's so quintessential New York. And I turn around, it's fucking Jerry Seinfeld sitting there in his suit. He just left doing a stand-up, and he's like telling a joke to his friend. And
that's high level right there.
I texted my agent that night. I was drunk. I was a little tipsy. I texted my agent. I said, "Hey, get me back to the Giants. Like, I got to be back here because, like, where else can that happen?"
Right. That's fast. You're right. 100%.
Best city on planet Earth, man.
Let's go.
You're absolutely right. Now, you just brought up two teams not new teams, but two teams that are hot right now: the Knicks and the Rangers, man. Just tell us a little bit about this Knick run, man, because right now they're playing the Pacers as you're doing this. This is a recorded show, people. My apologies. We're going to get this out to you guys, all right? We understand. We don't want to interfere with the Knicks, so shout out to Justin for coming on here. But Tell us, man, what you got the Knicks in? How many games, man? You think they're going all the way? Well, how far you think they're going to go? Just tell me. Just let me feel the energy right here. What
this is one of those teams. Now, look, like I can tell you way more about football, but I know teams.
Yes.
I know what it takes. Like, I know what cohesion looks like. I know when dudes love each other.
Yeah.
And this Knicks team loves each other, bro. They are boys through and through. They aren't the most talented team in the NBA. Basically, every team they're going to play with probably has more talent. When you draw up your point guard, you ain't drawing up Jalen Brunson, but he's got that dog in him.
Yes,
he's got that dog in him, which is like that is so New York, it hurts, man. Like, that's why he can win here. And I grew up in Philadelphia, obviously, grew up a Nova fan. Jay Wright is from the same hometown as me. Like, the Nova Knicks, man. They know what it takes to win. When it comes down the stretch, like, they're hitting those shots. Josh Hart with a little and like draining that three was insane. I wish we could have gotten a game 7 out of the Philly series just because, like,
that would have been it would have been good.
There's no other games that, like, look, we're playing the Pacers. These games won't be as crazy as the Sixers Knicks games. Like, it just won't be. That rivalry was unbelievable. I wish they would have saved that for the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, right. That would have
been Boston, who I think they'll see in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's going to be crazy too. And then my Rangers, like, I probably went to more Rangers games throughout my time because I wasn't like, I'm not on Carmelo's level, like, getting courtside to the Knicks. Like, I'm not on Spike's level. Like,
you're a hockey guy.
Ben Still, I got to go to the hockey because they give me some tickets.
Let's go.
I'm coming back in 2 weeks. So the Knicks are going to be there. I'm going to be there. Or the Rangers are going to be there. I got to chug a beer. I owe it to the fans to chug a beer because my boy Dave Bakhtiari did it for the Bucks and kind of made it famous. But ask Dave Bakhtiari, who beats him every time chugging a beer.
Okay. We're going to have that stopwatch on you. We're going to have that stopwatch. We got to see what you got to do.
The one thing I'm going to timestamp this right now. The Knicks have like double tall beer cups. So it's not like, so I got to get a double beer because if not, I'm going to pull up a beer. It's going to be like half a beer.
Right.
There's a little bit of a cup debacle going on at the Garden right now. So we'll timestamp this. So when it comes out, like, was that a half a beer? No, it was a full beer. Just a
full beer. Cup. Let's go.
Just to let you know, Justin, we did something called If the Giants Win Challenge where we had to do a bunch of crazy things if the Giants won. And we did it during that playoff one. And we were like, shoot, they're winning so many games. We're running out of ideas. So here's the thing. We're going to bring that back just for a little bit right now because we're going to challenge you. We're going to send you a New York Revival t-shirt, man. And you're going to have to chug the beer with that shirt on. What's up, brother? You going to get that done for us? Come on. What'd you say?
Send me the shirt. I'll wear it to the game.
Done.
Now I also got to rock my Lundqvist jersey. I got to wear the Rangers. You know what I mean? But I'll put it all under. Maybe I'll rip it up after I chug the beer. I'll do a little flash.
Say no more. We'll make that happen. We'll make that happen.
Make this happen.
We'll call some people and make sure it happens, man. But Justin, I just want to say thank you so much, man, for doing this. This was so last minute. This was awesome. We put the show together in literally seconds in a basement of this man cave that I have that's not even done. But it was honor and a pleasure to finally get this going for you and actually meeting you, man. Thank you so much. You don't understand how much this means to us. We do appreciate you, man.
This is what it's all about. Without you guys, without this crazy support, without like the crazy challenges and all that stuff, that's what makes New York Giants football so great. That's what gives me goosebumps of when I got drafted, that you guys have my back. So for me to be able to come and do 40 minutes, whatever we did today, like, man, that's nothing. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for this. I'll see you on Twitter, man. We're going to make this place a little bit better.
Let's go. Justin, let's hang out a little bit. We'll close this out and then we'll do what we got to do and peace you off for the rest of the night so you can see the Knicks game. But just hang out a little bit. We'll end the show. Yeah, gotcha. And thank you so much, brother.
Appreciate you, man.
Speed, man, you want to talk about an awesome dude? Like, we meet some cool people, man. Like, who could say that? Hey, they met K. Adams,
right there.
They met Tiki Barber. They met Nate Burleson. They met all these wonderful people, and now we get to add one more to it, and that is Justin Pugh. Great
through and through, right
person.
there, man.
That's once a Giant, always a Giant. Because I remember the debate was once a Giant. Does it apply to certain players? It applies to Justin freaking Pugh. Like, hands down.
And we hope you guys enjoyed it, man. We hope you guys enjoyed him. And he's a saint for coming out and saving us, man.
Yeah, man. He saved us, man. And guys, of course, we're going to have our guy Tyrone Tracy on the show, but unfortunately, we're gonna have to do that at a later time with rookie mini camp and etc. going down.
Showbiz,
have to push the date a little bit. Shout out to the guys at the Giants there for getting in contact with us. It was awesome, man. Just talking to those guys and meeting. I mean, I'm a fan. I'm I'm just podcasting. We're all fans here. And the fact that we get to meet these cool people, dreams come true. So shout out to you, man. We'll end this show, man. Of course, it is your boy, Eli Rax, a.k.a. Vibes. And of course, on behalf of my brother, you guys know who this is. And that's Mr. Glass Half Full. And that's Spee if you nasty now.
Fix them. Let's go. Let's go, Knicks. Let's get a W.
And of course, man, shout out to you, the Revivalists. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, share, and subscribe. We do appreciate all the support. Shout out our brother Bill, man. That is what's up, man. We do appreciate you, Revivalists of the month. We got to get you on, man. I know you don't want to get on, but we're going to make it happen. We appreciate you. But you guys have a good night. We'll see you on the next one. Peace and blessings. Yes, sir.
Eli Rax, El Jefe, Mr. Glass Half Full, the Revival.